You know, true lovers, at this point I'm convinced that finding your soulmate is harder than finding your keys when you're already late, juggling your coffee, your self-worth, and a crystal that keeps disappearing like your last situationship. It's like the universe goes, you wanted a soulmate? Cute. Here's another lesson instead. Hi, I'm Haim with Be Love Media. And today we'll chat about the juncture between the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching Verse 51 and your love life. I'm passionate about aligning ancient spiritual wisdom with modern heartache and turning those WTF into WOW. And if you stick around till the end of this video, you'll be invited to recite together with me the ultimate affirmation to attract your ultimate soulmate. Yep, we're going full sacred, true lovers. If that sounds like something your heart's ready for, hit that like button like your inner child finally being seen. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another heart-opening, soul-expanding, slightly hilarious drop of divine wisdom. So, here is verse 51 of the Tao Te Ching as translated by Stephen Mitchell. Open quote. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body, lets circumstances complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao gives birth to them, then nurtures them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself, creating without possessing, acting without expecting, guiding without interfering. That is why love of the Tao is in the very nature of things. Close quote. Oh my God, I can get emotional with those verses. And mind you, I have read and listened to those verses over the last several years, millions of times, if that was possible. So, how did I use this verse in my own journey? Well, true lovers, picture this. I'm sitting alone, heart shattered, staring at my empty Costco-sized box of gluten-free cookies after my third divorce. Yep, third. Not cute. But instead of wallowing forever, I committed 18 months of shadow work, preceded by a decade of lots of other input taking, such as self-development seminars, countless self-development seminars, of full weekends and months of assignments and whatnot. Problem was, the decade before I left my third failed marriage, I wasn't ready to understand the big picture, to put together all these amazing wisdoms that I accumulated. It wasn't until my last failed marriage fell apart. That's when I finally somehow got it, somehow clicked in it. And I said to myself, yeah, I need shadow work. I need self-forgiveness, inner reparenting, nervous system healing, and surrendering to the Tao. I let these verses rewire me. I didn't try to chase love. I became love. And from that space, everything changed. Let me give you for instance. Up until that fateful, dark phase of living my third failed marriage, whenever I was single and I finally found someone that was an actual potential for a serious relationship, or so I thought, early on in the dating process, I stopped evaluating this potential relationship. Due to what? Due to my fear of being alone. I would justify my dates' selfish, inconsiderate, or blatantly mean behaviors because I didn't want to ruin it and break up. So I found myself in situationships that had plenty of red flags early on, instead of cutting my losses when it reached the 3 strikes phase. But when I started looking for my first healthy Tao-based and harmonious relationship early 2020, right before the pandemic erupted, every time I saw a meaningful red flag in my dates, I knew better at that point than to stick around, and I simply ran for the hills. And I know it sounds extreme to some of you, peacemakers and those who are always looking for a project, for someone to fix, but believe me, if it doesn't feel comfortable right from the beginning, it's only going to get worse from there. Trust me, I know. Instead, I kept looking for green flags. Picture this. 18 months after I left my third failed marriage, did, like I said, a lot of work. I met this adorable young woman on some random Facebook group. Just so happened a group that had, I don't know, tens of thousands of people. I think it was 30,000 at the time. And up until that point, when I was dating on those dating apps, which led me nowhere, to be fully transparent, you know how you can filter what partners you want to receive, what candidates you want to talk to. And I always said, I don't want anybody more than 30 miles away from where I live, you know, thinking that that's the right thing to do, right? You want it to be feasible, practical. Sure enough, that young woman was 7,000 miles away from me. I am here in California, San Diego, and she was at a time in Malaysia. I didn't even know where that country was at that point. But you know what? When you're aligned, when you finally did your work at a sufficient level, we will never be a Buddha. We will never be a complete sage. But at a sufficient level where the universe notices that you have crossed what I call the 51% level. 51% of what? Of purity, of complete intelligence? No. 51% of true desire to work on yourself, to stop blaming others, to see the greatness in other people, and to run away from anybody who is not interested in a wholesome relationship, in a mutually beneficial and mutually generous interaction. Just let it go. Leave them alone. So my Rachel was far away from me, physically, geographically. She was from completely different culture. She's Malaysian Chinese, grew up in a Buddhist environment, and I grew up in a Israeli town in the Middle East with my Jewish culture. But none of it mattered. We were aligned, and we still are, several years after we got married, and we have this wholesome relationship. So, enough about me. So here are 10 affirmations that help me transform from heartbreak to heart whole. I am a vessel of unconditional love. I attract only what aligns with my highest truth. I honor my heart as sacred and sovereign. I am worthy of devotion just as I am. I release the need to control love and let it flow. My soulmate and I are magnetized by mutual purpose. I create space for love by loving myself fully. I trust the timing of divine union. I show up as the partner I wish to receive. I am love. I radiate love. I receive love. So, true lovers, if this stirred your soul, whispered a truth into your bones, or at least made you chuckle about your latest dating disaster, like this video, comment with your favorite affirmation, share it with someone who's still texting their ex, and subscribe to our channel. Because Be Love Media is here for your soul glow up, one Tao tinged love lesson at a time. And remember, when love feels like a cosmic scavenger hunt, the map is always inside you. Love you, true lovers. See you in the next one.